for the Village Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are, the free Odyssey app. Good Wednesday morning. Man, I tell you, with nothing else going on in sports last night, you turn on the Mets game, you've watched them be horrible offensively in recent memory. You've seen Sean Manaea just give up runs and not be able to get through 4 or 5 innings. So this is what you're expecting last night. It's exactly what you got. And the San Francisco Giants end up winning again late last night. So now the lead is 2 games for that final wild card spot, as the Mets now have lost 4 in a row. I mean, it has just been the exact opposite of what last season was around this time, where the team had energy. The team felt like they could do anything positive. They would come back in games all the time. You could never count them out. This team, you could always count them out when they end up getting behind. I mean, and it's just, it's gotten too much at this point. We're sitting here, it's September 10th. We talk about it. We scream about it for hours and hours. I get in the car. I hear Sal and BT screaming about it. People in my life texting me. I almost wanted to be over at this point. Just get me out of this baseball season. It's just been so disappointing. Now, the Yankees have been a little bit better, but last night, gross. I mean, and it's not like we have even a football season we can lean back on either. I mean, I'm trying. I'm really trying to be happy here. Yeah. That's what people count on us for. But, I mean, these teams are just the pits.
All right, let's.
Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Good morning. I'm with you on a number of these things, but the Yankees have been playing really good baseball. Last night, they just had a blip in their bullpen. You know, I mean, Warren was pitching really well until he gives up the 2-run home run. And next thing you know, it all falls apart on them. And I'm not going to get on them at all. I mean, you're going to have one of these games every now and again, and something's going to happen. You got to wake up tomorrow or wake up today and take care of business and start feeling better about yourself. As far as the Mets are concerned, let's go through the litany of issues that they have, and let's discuss as to why they are where they are right now. Number one, for me anyway, you know, I feel like I'm in the middle, or we're in the middle of a total collapse. I really feel that way. I really feel like all of a sudden now, this late in the season, 4 losses, getting drubbed by the Phillies, having their asses kicked, and you know the middle of the order is basically non-existent. You know, I was talking to Fleegs before, and I was saying, you know, who do you see as the responsible ones for all of this? For me, first and foremost, it starts with the horrendous starting pitching that they had gotten prior to the 3 young guys coming up.
Yeah.
All right. So that's number one. You know, they started out the season great. The starting pitching was good, and it's one of the reasons why they got off to such a good start. In the middle of this season, the starting pitching started to wane, and then the bullpen started to wane, and then you know the trade deadline comes. They try to refortify the bullpen. And then they start bringing up these young kids, and these young kids are giving the Mets everything that they could have asked for and more. So the starting pitching still remains. The older pitchers, like Sean Manaea last night, still remain a bone of contention for me. I mean, I would shut them down. I mean, it's just you can't keep watching this over and over and over and over again. They don't need a 6-man rotation. And by the way, Kodai Senga, you're a professional baseball player. Let's go. You know, enough of this. You know. Kowtowing, coddling, anything that you want to say. Enough. It's over with. We need you to be your best, and now's the time for you to turn it on. But talking to Fleegs, he still looks at the body of this team, the foundation of this team, which is not Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor. He takes them out of the mix. He's looking at Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, Starling Marte. You know, these guys are just not getting it done, and they're not getting it done at the most important time of the season right now. And you could look at the numbers at the end of the year, and we're all going to say, well, that's a great season. But, you know, I think Pete Alonso should have like 250 RBIs, for God's sake. I mean, he's having a decent season. I guess you could say he's having a good season. But, you know, when it really, really does matter, and I remember I was texting with my nephew, Randy, huge Met fan. And I'm like, this guy should have 200 RBIs. Every time he gets up, there's like 3 guys on base.
Yeah,
and he'll strike out. And the thing that really set me off the other night was that final at bat by Alvarez. and watching him just whiff away. Like nobody talked to him before he got up there. Nobody said anything to him. Hey, watch, he's going to, help the young guy get ready to see 3 curveballs 3 feet out of the freaking strike zone. I don't know. I mean, like, it's so frustrating. And I do think that internally that they think that they are better than they really are.
I mean, how could they think that at this point?
Well,
They've gone through so many losing streaks. They're in the midst of another one. I mean, maybe they think that they can turn it on at some point and these games don't matter and they'll be in a wild card no matter what. And maybe the fact that the Giants are as close as they are wakes them up a little bit. But how stupid could they be to think that they're better than they are?
I don't think that is something that is, let's say, obvious. It's something that is internal, that they feel. They're not going to say it, but I'm telling you, I think that they think that all they got to do is get in and they can make this magical run because a lot of these guys went through this last year and they think that they can recreate that. But this didn't happen last year. That this team was...
Well, I mean, it happened in April and May, and then it turned around for the rest of the year. Yeah,
this team was riding the wave into the playoffs last year. And there is no wave right now. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite of that. And it's amazing to me. And the other thing too, getting down early and getting down early big does not help. But again, I wonder, like, if they understand the enormity of if they don't make it, and the amount of money that this owner has spent on these players. And the amount of money that he, and this is the thing that I would imagine drives like guys like Jerry Jones crazy. Like, wait a minute, you want $40 million a year? Okay, you're a great player, but have we won anything with you on the roster? Now, I'm specifically talking about Micah Parsons, who I told you I was happy he got what he wanted. He got a trade, and he went to a team that looks like it's ready to compete for the Super Bowl. Maybe that would be the case with the Cowboys had he stayed there. I don't know. But I think this is what drives ownership and general managers crazy when they're sitting there talking to these agents. I want Pete Alonso to do well. I wanted him here. I think they came up with some sort of compromise, but he needs to be better. He needs to be more involved when they need him to be involved, and that's now.
Yeah, I mean, I think trying to pinpoint it on a couple of players is just an exercise in futility because it's all facets at different times. That's why they've never been able to get going since the beginning of the season. And since they were at their high water mark, they've been something like 13 or 14 games under 500 since then. It's because the offense goes into holes for long stretches. The starting pitching goes into holes for long stretches. You get that going, then the bullpen stinks. You get a guy coming in who's a total disaster. So, I mean, and when you say, this is what's so funny about this team, when you look at the offense, I mean, they are a top 10 offense in every important category.
Inconsistent.
But then when they go away, they really go away. Like, they go away for stretches where they go on 7-game losing streaks. They score 2 runs in the course of an entire 3-game series. So, I mean, that's why I said it right on that Friday before we took the week off and then came back after Labor Day, that it's just they're not going to get back to where they were last year. If they make the playoffs, it's going to be short-lived. And if they somehow don't make the playoffs, I mean, I can't imagine how pissed off Steve Cohen is going to be. And I'm not saying he's going to just start firing everybody and David Stearns isn't going to be here. I don't think it'd be that extreme. But there's going to have to be a major, major shakeup with the core of this group because to come back after last year and then to be where you were at the beginning of the season and then miss the playoffs is unfathomable.
When you think about
adding Juan Soto,
when you think about the trade deadline, and you think about the people who the Mets traded for versus the people who the Phillies traded for. The Phillies needed a center fielder. They bring in Harrison Bader. He's been the MVP since the trade deadline. If you look at all the players that were traded at the trade deadline, he's the MVP of the trade deadline, and he's been roasting the Mets.
Yeah,
I mean, just absolutely roasting the Mets. And and we brought in Cedric Mullins, who's been an absolute disaster.
Yeah, zero, complete zero.
And we thought that was going to add a little bit to the offense, and it's done anything but that. It's been ultimately just at the bottom of the lineup. It's been like a black hole, and I don't know what else to say other than that it's about as frustrating as it gets. It also is going to be, if they don't make it, it's going to be one of the biggest financial disasters in New York sports history.
Yeah, I mean, it's
if not the biggest disaster.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, even at this point, if they go out early in the playoffs, if they don't win a single series in the postseason, you could put it in that category. Now, it wouldn't be as bad if they missed the playoffs because there's 3 freaking wild cards in Major League Baseball now. It's just crazy to have a team like this and then miss the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, if they go out early or look non-competitive in the postseason, to me, it's essentially the same thing.
Their first round matchup would be if it happened today.
Right now, it's the Dodgers, and I understand that they have been playing great either. It's just that I can't. I mean, we've said it 10 million times because I just feel like this has been the conversation for the last 3 months here. But the only belief that you can have in this team going forward is that you can't predict the future. And we've seen other teams wake up out of nowhere for no reason and go on runs. Because what we've seen in the body of evidence here is just, this is not anywhere near a championship team. And I'm with you on Manaea. Cannot see him start again. I'm sorry. I don't care if you bring up another kid and you got 4 of them pitching.
Well, they got 5. They got 5. They got 5 starters right now.
Enough.
They don't need
He's
a
done.
6th.
It's just he's cooked. He's shut him down. And you got Frankie Montas, by the way, who gave way too much money, and everybody criticized at the time, not even necessarily because of how bad he was with the Yankees and others, but his injury history is now going to get Tommy John and miss the entire 2026 season. So that's another one of these moves that were made in either the offseason or at the trade deadline that is completely blown up in David Stern's face.
Trying to save money, trying to catch lightning in a bottle, and thinking that maybe experience will help you when you get to the playoffs, and it certainly has blown up in their faces in a number of ways. But the silver lining in all of this are these 3 young pitchers who have actually, given everything they possibly could to this team to help them get through September. And if you just look at what they've done, and some of them got a little bit of offensive support early on, but now all of a sudden the offense has basically gone into hibernation again.
Yeah, I mean, why is it that these organizations, even when it's decades and decades in between certain events, it just the same stuff happens? It's like if you talk about the Jets and all the different coaches and all the different players, it feels like the same stuff happens. And I'm bringing that up because you just said these 3 young pitchers are the silver lining. Like, how many times have we said that with the Mets? So, and how many times did they collapse? Yeah. They collapsed in 98 with a wild card. They collapsed in 2007 in a while. With the Marlins, they collapsed in 2008 when they closed Shea Stadium. And then, there's always 3 young pitchers, whether it was Paul Wilson, Bill Pulsifer, and Jason Isringhausen, or Noah Syndergaard, Matt Harvey, and Zach Wheeler, whether it was... now these guys, Nolan McLean, Jonah Tong, and Brandon Sproat. There's always just 3 young pitchers coming up. It's going to save the day for them.
I'll tell you what, they have been trying to save the day for them. You have to admit that.
Yes, and I'm not knocking these guys. I'm just saying I feel like I'm living the same thing over and over again with this baseball team like every decade. I mean, it's now, here we are. All right, so it was 1998. I remember them collapsing. And then it had these pitchers coming up prior to that were a disaster. And then you talk about, you fast forward to what, 2015. They make it to the World Series, and then all of a sudden they go to hell the next year in 2016, make the wild card, but then don't do anything. Now fast forward 10 years later, and here we go. They're collapsing again, and they got 3 young pitchers that are going to save the day. It's like, how does this happen? They changed the ownership, for God's sakes. They built a new stadium. People have come and gone. But still, it's the same thing. It's a team that collapses that is just hoping that a bunch of minor league pitchers that are coming up are going to save the day. And it never works out. It never does.
Well, it's not their fault. That's for sure.
No, of course not. I'm not saying it is. It's just like... I mean, that game, like, how can you even sit there and focus on that game last night? I mean, just bang, bang, bang. Sean Manaea, done. 4-0 before you can blink, and then the offense isn't going to do anything. Okay.
They have 12 strikeouts last night.
Yeah. And Ranger Suarez out of the whatever it was, like 24 outs that he had, was 12 of them were strikeouts?
Yes,
Is that what it was?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's pathetic. absolutely pathetic. I mean, you want to talk about the offense being contagious in both ways. I mean, and they were just going on that stretch. We were just talking about how great the offense was, and everybody's hitting at the same time. And oh my goodness, we're showing up at the ballpark, and we're just ready to hit. And then when they all go in the toilet, they're just all in the toilet together.
And the worst part of all of it is that you got to listen to Mendoza talk about it at the end of every game.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing over and over and over again.
I mean, it's every one of these teams.
Managers talk way too much, and I know that they are required to talk. They have to talk. But, man, I'll tell you what, it is miserable when you have to talk pregame and you got to talk postgame. And it's just, and all of a sudden it starts drowning in your ears. And as a fan, you want to hold him accountable.
Yeah, I mean, right. But
just because he's the one that's doing all the talking and he has to try to explain why certain guys aren't hitting or why certain guys aren't pitching well, or, you know, their sliders off, or, you know, he left a couple balls up in the zone. I mean, geez, I'm sick and tired of hearing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sick and tired of hearing everybody that's been here for more than a year already. I mean, whether it's Brian Daboll and what he has to say, it's the same thing. Aaron Boone, we stopped playing his cuts because we had enough of it. Carlos Mendoza's in that same boat at this point.
Right now, he's in the same boat. Right now, I feel bad for him because, you know, he's got a $375 or $380 million team, and they are performing as if they were the Nats, you know, the Marlins, you know, one of these low-paying teams that, you know, stink. And his team is worth $375 million.
They joke about how there was a couple of guys who filled in here for you that we gave shots to over the summer the last 2 years. The guys like Nicky Cass, good guy, right? Came in here, but he said, like, baseball's a funny sport. Anything can happen. Right? Yeah. I'm like, okay, you can't say that. You got to have a better opinion than that. Stu Gatz would come in here and say, baseball's a funny sport. Anything can happen. But, like, that's the only thing, like, as dumb and as
well, it's not dumb.
Pedestrian take as that is.
It's very pedestrian, yes.
Right. That's the only hope that you have as a Mets fan right now is baseball's a funny sport and anything can happen. That's it. Because what we've seen, they stink. And they have stunk for months.
That's the point. It's not like it's been the last 2 weeks. It's been the inconsistency over the last 3 months. I mean, it was their starting pitching, their older starting pitching is basically falling apart. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of it. I mean, that's just part of it, which
and
is
center field has been, forget it. It's just been nothing. It's been nothing out there.
All right, we're going to have a fun day today. We're going to have some laughs, I promise you. I mean, I really wish, I mean, if it wasn't our job to talk about the Mets, I would have, you know, opened up with that missile hitting the orb just like Al wanted to this morning as well, because that's all I was watching last night. There was a congressional hearing about a missile that bounced off a glowing orb a year ago. And I got to talk about Sean Manaea's ERA.
Oh, his balls are bouncing off bats going out of the yard.
It's true. All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network. Jerry joins us in a couple.